Hey guys, it's Heather, the Crochet Witch. How are you guys doing? Today we are here for, sorry, getting jumbled together, the hashtag movie and stitch, which I'm catching up on. Well, it's long past time to be done, so I guess I'm not catching up, but I am making my way through. So, today is letters O and P. Yes, I'm doing that a lot. I'm tired, so I'm weird. So I'm just like, yeah. Anyway, I don't usually do that. Not to that extent, do I? I hope not. Anyway. So this was the project that was started by multiple people whose links are still down in the description box down below. Started by Terry of the Yarn Joy podcast. And the idea was to work on a project for while you were watching movies, going through the alphabet, starting with a movie that started with A, moving on to a movie that started with B, going on to a movie that started with C, and so on, and so on, and so on, ending with a movie that started with Z. You get the drift. You're very smart. You probably all know the shtick by now, whether it's been watching my videos or somebody else's. So now we're all caught up. Well, you also know, I'm sure, that I fell behind. Yeah, things just got away. And after I missed 1 or 2 weeks, it just, yeah. But I've been making pretty steady progress to catch up. Sometimes I even did multiples a week to catch up. So my project, I didn't work on taking like a few colors from the movie or anything like that and making one blanket like that. I didn't do, let's see, some people did amigurumis based on the movie. I did just a project. It wasn't like color related, but it was, since I am doing all horror movies, because I'm sure you probably expected nothing less from me, I am doing a Halloween themed blanket. So that is what my project is going to be. Now, the movie that was the one I chose for the letter O was Ouija. Not Ouija Origins, which is the second in that series, and which was definitely the one I was thinking of when I picked it. Not that this one, not the original, this Ouija was the 2014 Ouija, and I think Ouija Origins might have been 2016, maybe 2017, somewhere in there. Which, by the way, if you want to watch this movie after what I'm sure being this tired is not going to be a glowing review, it is on Hulu, because I thought I owned this movie. This is another one of those stories where it begins with I thought I owned it, and then it turns out I couldn't find it. All of our movies are alphabetized, right? I mean, maybe not all of the like A's are specifically alphabetized, but like all of our A movies are together and our B movies are together. So like they're somewhat alphabetized. And I can't find Ouija anywhere. And like maybe we watched it, so maybe it's elsewhere in the house, but generally they get put back and I don't know where it's at, which is very annoying. But it's on Hulu, so save the day. Thank you, Hulu. So I just watched it, and pretty quickly I remembered that it is not Ouija Origins, which Ouija Origins, as the name implies, technically timeline-wise came first. So this movie was made first and came out first, but technically was second in the timeline. So you should know you're about to get spoilers, but without further ado, basically this movie, I don't know what the ratings were on like Rotten Tomato and that kind of thing, but I do know when we get to the trivia part, I have almost no trivia for you because apparently everybody watched Ouija Origins and not Ouija either that or they just weren't interested enough to have any interesting trivia for it. So I'm going to guess that the original Ouija did not do as well. Like, I didn't look that up, but I'm going to guess it did not. It was your basic teens do something stupid and get themselves into trouble and try to fix their own mess kind of movie, right? So, you know the kind. Basically, a girl at the beginning of the movie, she is in some obvious trouble, home alone, playing with, well, she had previously played with her Ouija board and she's trying to get rid of it. Things had turned south for her pretty quick and she ends up dead. People think she killed herself. All of her friends are like this, no, she didn't kill herself. We don't believe it because that didn't happen. I mean, they were right, but they had no basis for that besides the feeling. And so her best friend in the group decides, we used to play with the Ouija boards, so I think it's a great idea to be in the place where she died and used her Ouija board to try to talk to her. I don't know if you guys believe in Ouija boards, and I don't know for those of you that do believe in them if you've ever used them. I'm just going to say I personally feel that was a very bad idea if that were happening in real life. So they do it, of course, because why not? And they come in contact with a person that, of course, says that they're their friend, that has the same initials as their friend, and they believe without any shadow of a doubt that it's their friend. And the next day, like that happens, something a little creepy happens. I believe that's the night, like the lights get turned off on them and they all get spooked and they leave, thus breaking one of their own rules, which the main friend recites the rules of the game, which is you should never play alone. You should always say goodbye. And there's a third rule. Right now, I can't remember it. I should know it, but I cannot remember it. So I'm going to leave it at that, because those are the two main rules that get broken in this movie all the time. I'm sure the other one does too, but these two really bugged me. I was always like, no, you're breaking your own rule. You're breaking the rule. Hey, breaking the rule again. See, here I go with those hand things again. I am real tired. So they get creeped out. They don't say goodbye and they leave. Through the next day, or maybe the next couple days, all of them in different ways get haunted by this thing, because the greeting this thing gave them was "Hi, friend," which through both of the movies is a saying. It's a thing. So it was creepy rewatching it, because I know, that it's this thing. And like it starts appearing, like it's in steam on this girl's car window. It's carved into this guy's desk. This guy's jogging through like a underground, like a tunnel, and it's written in chalk on the tunnel, so it's everywhere, right, with these kids. And they just, like I said, they start seeing it everywhere, and they meet up and they're talking about it, and one of the friends isn't there because one of the friends gets killed. And so they all freak out on the main character, whose name is Lane, by the way. And they're blaming Lane, and they're like, you made us use this board, and now our friend is dead, and, this and that. And she blames herself, and then, like, they decide it must be Debbie, though. Like, their dead friend's name is Debbie. It must be Debbie, and she's trying to tell us something. So we need to go talk to her again and see what she's trying to say. So they go back to the house where the board is still on the table, and they try to talk to it again, and even scarier things happen. There's some, like, physical, in our own world, things that happen. The deceased friend's boyfriend is part of this little group. He gets physically pushed like face first into a mirror and it gets broken. And so there's like actual, a gas stove turns on. Physical things start happening. So like this entity is growing stronger. So this girl finds out about like the previous owners of the house once the board tells them that, like, the board basically gets caught in a lie. The boyfriend asks the spirit, like, oh, do you remember our first date? Do you remember the things that we said when we were in this place? And then he tells the friends, we never went to that place. That's not her. And then the board gets caught in a lie. The spirit gets caught in a lie. It admits that it's not her. It tells them who it is, and the spirit at one point shows itself, and it's the spirit of this little girl who tries to warn them that her mother's coming. So assumably mother's bad, scary. So Lane and her friends start looking into the history of the house and trying to find out about this family now that they have names. And they find out that there is a living member of the family, which is this little girl Doris's sister. I think her name was Patricia, if I remember right. And so she goes and hunts her down. She is in an elderly home, and she goes and talks to her. And she tells her that their mother was this gifted clairvoyant that she made. She ended up getting really famous back in the day, which was in the 40s. Sorry, there's a noise on the other side of the door. I think Damon might be lurking because I don't think it's Abby. Which, quick update, by the way, Abby is improved. I'll do another video on that. Not 100%, but thank you for your positive thoughts and vibes and well wishes and prayers, and we all appreciate it. And if you've got it in you, keep them coming, please. So back to the review. So she tells them their mother was a gifted clairvoyant, and as she got more famous, she needed like a vessel for the spirits that she was contacting. So this lady's little sister, Doris, got chosen, and the mother put spirits into this little girl. And so she paints the picture of this innocent little child, and she was being used and abused by evil mother, and the spirits took over her, and it was just too much, and she became evil and possessed, and the mother had to stop her, so she sewed her lips shut, and she basically sacrificed her in some certain way, and just bad stuff, right? And so the mother bad. That's the story you got from her. And she was like, telling Lane how to stop her was to go into the house, find the secret room that was built on the house. That's where the body of her sister was, and physically, in the physical world, snip these binds on her mouth so that she was freed to take care of the spirit of their mother. So Lane is a sucker and falls for this. So she goes and does it, frees Doris. Doris gets rid of mother. Suddenly, spirit is stronger. And instead of like warnings, multiple members of the groups of friends start dying. And there's only like 3 of them left at this point. There's like Lane, her sister, and I think her boyfriend were left at this point. And she goes back to the old lady, and lo and behold, old lady is evil and crazy and admits that she lied so that Doris could be set free. Because Doris is the evil one, and the mother was trying to stop them from freeing her. Stupid teenagers. So, with their new gathered information, they go back and do finally find, they go back, re-find the body of Doris and take care of it via burning it and severing their tie to the board by burning it with her in the furnace. And in theory, all is well. They do leave a little cliffhanger at the end of the movie because the sister, Lane's sister, Sarah, says, like, all of these spirits that were in that poor little girl, where do you think they all went? And then suddenly, when Lane goes back into her room, the Ouija board, like the planchette, is in her room, even though she had destroyed it. So setting up for the second movie, but the second movie ended up being the prequel. Maybe there'll be a third. I don't think there is a third right now. I don't think there is. I'll have to look into that. I know there is the second one. The second one is actually pretty good, in my opinion. So, not that this one's terrible, and even if it was, I like bad horror, so who am I to judge? But it's not that bad. It's just that the second one is better. But that is the review of my O movie. And I mentioned my Halloween blanket that I'm doing. So we will talk about the yarn. Oh, let me tell you the trivia that I did find, because it was almost nothing. Almost nothing. I have two things. I mentioned the little sister Sarah and the main character Lane. The actress that plays the little sister is actually 3 years older than the actress that plays Lane. That's one trivia fact. It was slim pickings, I'm telling you guys. And the film's like tagline that they use in advertising, which is keep telling yourself it's just a game. Actually, they started using that for several years as the advertising slogan for the Ouija board, when they were selling it. Which, by the way, they sell that as a board game that's like for children. I think it's like for 8 years and older or something like that. I'm just saying. But those are the only two trivia facts that I found particularly interesting at all. So there you go. There is your trivia for Ouija. Now let's talk yarn. So I am using solid granny squares. I am using this Karen Jumbo, which this is my last one of these. I had bought all of the ones on clearance, and they do not, I finally looked it up, they do not make this anymore that I can tell. I looked on the Yarnspirations site. I looked at Joann's, which is where I originally bought it when they were clearancing it out, but like Joann's clearances out stuff and then gets it back in sometimes. Sometimes they're like switching labels, or I don't really know all the reasons, but I know they have switched labels before and brought the same colors right back in. But they do not have it anymore. And look how gorgeous, and to me, how Halloweenish this is, with all the different shades of purple and then this beautiful bright like coppery orange, pumpkin-y orange. I love it. And it is called Plum Copper is the name of it. So I hope this lasts me the last of my squares, because I'm doing the whole solid granny square in these color. And I am bordering it with 3 different colors that I found particularly Halloweenish. I am bordering it in like this dark neon purple, this pumpkin-y orange, and this like ghoulish green, okay? And I am doing the continuous join, of course, which is my tutorial for it is linked below in the description. And let me not show you the back of it. I'll show you the front of it. But here are the 3 different colors. I started joining them. So you see the green, that is the purple border. It's just not showing up that well. And then there is the orange. And the black that I'm using is just a red heart with love that I got. It's just in the color black. Yeah, and so it's joined. I'm doing there. It's 6 squares long, and this end is 3 squares wide. But what I just did during this movie was join the 3 squares that I had just made last movie. So this end is 4 squares. The next movie I will make hopefully about 3 more squares. And then the next movie I will join them. And then what I'm thinking is I do like the width, but since it's 6 squares long, I think I'm going to make 1 more row if I have enough of the yarn. So hopefully that yarn will last me 9 more squares. I hope. I really hope. Because I cannot get it anymore. I even looked on eBay, and at the time that I looked, there was none. So, but yeah, that is my blanket. And I do have some appliques that I made of ghosts, and I'm hoping to make up some tombstones I will show you those. Well, I'll show you the ghosts next time. I haven't made the tombstones yet. And as far as my yarny portion, that is the conclusion. Let me fold this up and I will show you what my next movie is, which I'm excited about. Really excited, actually. If you've been following along, you know that a lot of these movies are some like older and probably bad movie, like not bad like naughty, bad like people probably can't stand them because they're cinematically not great. B movies, if you will, but that is my jam. Like, I love old horrible horror movies, as I think I've said before. And so, with that in mind, the P movie for next time, I was going to say next week, but whenever I do it, is Phantasm. This is actually the whole collection, which is what, 5? Yeah, 5 of them. How awesome. I think I get the most excited doing like reviews on the old, like I love doing the review for like Critters when we did that one. Oh my gosh. Phantasm 2 is called Phantasm 2 The Ball is Back. Like, how great is that? All right. I love that. Well, anyway, I won't get into it because that'll be our next video, right? So I'm really excited. But I think that's everything that I had to share with you, and I should probably get this going so I can get it uploaded for you. There will be a whip weekend, but it will be, since this is Saturday's video, it will be Sunday, I believe. So I still have a little bit more work to do on that. But I am very sleepy, and when I get this uploaded, I am going to bed. So it's been a very long week, as you guys know who have seen my other videos. So I'm going to go snuggle with Abby for a bit while this is uploading, and then try to catch up on a little bit of sleep. But thanks for joining me, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. And yeah, all right, I love you guys, and I'll talk to you later. Bye, guys.